Recognizing 90 years of excellence with a corps of dedicated airmen, the 133rd Airlift Wing celebrated 2011 as a banner year. Minnesota boasts the first federally recognized National Guard aviation unit in the country, receiving our acknowledgement in 1921. We celebrated with an Air Expo, saw the selection of the Air National Guard Airman of the Year, and the entire wing was awarded the Air Force Outstanding Unit Award for the previous year. For many, 2011 was a year of preparation. The wing faces a compliance inspection in the spring of 2012, and a large package of people and planes will deploy to the desert about the same time. At least 2 large units sent men and women to serve in the desert. About 50 Security Forces airmen also deployed in 2 waves beginning in late 2010 in support of Operation New Dawn in Iraq. They came back to the airbase in January and February, greeted by family, co-workers, and the media. The Patriot Guard riders lined the path with flags honoring the sacrifice of these airmen and families. Along with the celebration of coming home after months in the desert, the entire wing celebrated with a military ball. We got dressed up, were inspired by WCCO retired news anchor Don Shelby, and had fun enjoying the rhythms of Nightwing, the Air Force Heartland of America band. During winter months, training for desert environments gets done in places like Yuma, Arizona. Air crews, maintenance, logistic, and other support airmen took planes and equipment to American Southwest in February and March. Airmen received training in places like Norway and England. These exchanges also help us keep our skills sharp and provide opportunities to build relationships. Many of our units saw transitions in leadership or structure in early 2011. The men and women of the finance section of Wing Headquarters were activated as the Comptroller Flight in January. The 210th Engineering Installation Squadron welcomed a new commander in February. The 133rd Logistics Readiness Squadron changed commanders in March. And the 109th Airlift Squadron welcomed a new commander in April. And speaking of leadership, the directors of the National Guard and the Air National Guard both came on base for visits a few days apart. Lieutenant General Harry Wyatt, the director of the ANG, came in late March, and National Guard Director General Craig McKinley visited in early April. The senior enlisted advisor to the National Guard, Command Chief Denise Jelinski Hall, also met with airmen as she and General McKinley toured the base. Briefings, breakfasts, and flights for ESGR were held in the spring and fall, providing an up-close and personal experience for employers being recognized for their support. Every spring in Minnesota, we can usually count on some state active duty to respond to flooding. High waters along the Red River of the North brought a response from the Minnesota National Guard to Moorhead, Oslo, and other towns in the region. Units like the 133rd Force Support Squadron trained at Camp Ripley in April. Air crew members conduct water survival and escape and evasion every year. This was a cool one at a new site on the Mississippi River. Training continued around the world. Airmen from the 109th Aeromedical Evacuation Squadron and the Medical Group went to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, participating in MedLight 11 in April and May. Also in May, medical professionals deployed for an exercise in Honduras that brought humanitarian healthcare services to thousands of residents in that country. Community involvement with the West St. Paul Cinco de Mayo parade provided an opportunity for the wing to reach out to minorities in the Twin Cities. We participated in about a dozen events supporting the Air National Guard Decade of Diversity, educating all Minnesotans about the opportunities in the 133rd. In mid-2011, about 60 civil engineer airmen deployed for duty in Southwest Asia, supporting Operation New Dawn. The sacrifice of these men and women, along with their families, was recognized by the Patriot Guard, who lined the walkway into the base operations building with flags as they moved to their aircraft. Construction projects on base were ongoing through 2011. We saw successful upgrades to the systems and facilities like the Aircraft Maintenance Complex and Starbase. Another project that is both environmentally friendly and increases our efficiency during winter is a new de-icing pad with a fluid recovery system. This came with special congressional attention, and Minnesota's 5th District Representative, Congressman Keith Ellison, helped us dedicate the de-icing pad on the last day of June. Flood response in the state of Minnesota concluded in late spring, but conditions in North Dakota got worse. We were able to help our neighbors in a couple ways. One was an urgent flight to Louisiana to pick up trap bags and flying them to Minot, where they were used as an instant levee in June. Conditions continued to be bad in July, so we sent 30 airmen for 2 weeks to help recovery efforts. Summertime in Minnesota brings baseball, and our long-standing relationship with the Twins continued with several events. During Military Appreciation Day at Target Field, this provided an opportunity for the introduction of the Air National Guard Airman of the Year, Sergeant Chelsvig, who threw out the first pitch of the game. The Twins worked with us on another event highlighting excellence for the wing. The day before our Air Expo in July, we put Colonel Hazy on TV, brought the U.S. Air Force Honor Guard drill team into Target Field for some fancy drill and ceremony, and flew a C-130 Hercules over the scoreboard to start the game. The next day, July 16th, thousands of Minnesotans came to our Air Expo. The celebration with our community was very successful. Along with the 90th anniversary for the entire wing, we also marked milestones of 50 years for the Aeromeds and 40 years for the 210th EIS. The U.S. Air Force Honor Guard drill team performed twice for the crowd, throwing their weapons with precision and grace. Another precision team, the Para-Commando Demonstration Team from Special Operations Command, jumped from our C-130 in front of the crowd. Over 40 vintage and current aircraft were on display. Visitors walked through a C-5A, a C-17, a KC-135, and our own C-130. Fighter jets like an A-10 and an F-16 were enjoyed by the crowd, along with dozens of specialty, training, and historical aircraft. Kids especially enjoyed hands-on exhibits along with other fun displays. Our older generations walked through the aircraft like our C-97 or enjoyed other planes we have flown. Food was served and areas were set up in the Air Guard Museum, where former members and other supporters gathered to swap stories and reminisce. Much of our success is built on strong ties to the community and our families. We recognized our families in August with more food, fun, and events. Family Day 2011 was celebrated outside for the first time in 4 years. Events like an archery range, the Home Run Derby, food from Fat Lorenzo's, and a few other newer features have become favorites, along with longtime exhibits such as the rock climbing wall, inflatable activities, and carnival midway booths sponsored by squadrons and flights. The 133rd Airlift Wing hosted Air Force One twice in August. President Barack Obama flew into the Twin Cities for a bus tour and a speech, and we are privileged to work with the White House and the Air Force One team. Along with providing the President a place to park his jet, we provide fuel, communications, and other support, sometimes on very short notice. September brought more training for air crew, support, and medical airmen at Camp Ripley with an exercise called Readiness Planes. This domestic operations scenario simulates the movement of casualties in the event of a large regional disaster. A commemoration of September 11, 2001 was held in the chapel to help remember why we serve. In October, we saw a change of command chiefs. Chief Master Sergeant Dave Spike had served for 3 years as the senior enlisted advisor to the wing commander. Colonel Hazy selected Chief Master Sergeant Paul Kessler to advise him on matters concerning enlisted airmen. October also brought a fun parade and a chance for families to bring their kids on base for treats. As the wing plans for deployments again next year, these family moments are important. Other kids came on base to attend Star-based classes, which resumed in October with a ribbon cutting for their refurbished facility. Supporters, including Congressman Ellison again, brought words of encouragement and praise to the 133rd Airlift Wing for thinking of the future. With more overseas deployments looming, domestic operation training is important. We sent a regional communications platform to southeastern Minnesota to interface with local civilian authorities, helping them practice scenarios like an emergency at a nuclear power plant near Red Wing. These exercises, along with participating in the Minnesota Vikings Military Appreciation Game, help keep us relevant and visible in the community. Operation Coronet Oak required coverage in November and into December as we flew missions out of Puerto Rico in support of community and military activities throughout Southern Command. We know where we've come from. Our heritage of 90 years as a flying organization, along with a deep history of service to the community, shows we get the job done. We are America's airmen. We are the 133rd Airlift Wing.